What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the J Area Wrestling Show. We are live and in living color. My name is Jose Ramos Jr. Thank you guys for we got a little play, but thank you guys for joining me here on tonight's live stream. We're talking about the predictions video for WWE Evolution and Saturday night's main event. There's a lot of wrestling to be taking place this upcoming weekend, all with, of course, being AEW and WWE having some of their biggest shows of the year. Now, arguably, I would say I think AEW is probably going to have the bigger show of the weekend. I know the WWE recently there was a statement made that TKO and the WWE are aiming to counteract the AEW programming because they want to have the final say in the news, right? They want to be in the limelight, which I can't blame them. That's a smart business tactic. But I do think that AEW All In might be the better show of the three. And that's actually not correct. There's only four shows. Because as of this recording, of course, we have Evolution, we have Saturday night's main event, but there's also the Great American Bash. NXT will be having its own PLE on Saturday evening, probably going around the same time as All In. So a lot of counter programming here by the WWE as a way to kind of take away the attention from AEW's biggest show of the year. Will I be watching the shows? You better believe it. I watch the shows. That way, when you guys need to get a catch up and get a little refresher on what's going on in pro wrestling, you guys can always come back here on these streams and in these videos to discuss the latest in professional wrestling. I do want to give people here an opportunity to join in on the live. So before we start talking about our predictions, our analysis, and just our reactions to what's going on in pro wrestling right now, we're going to give them a chance here. But I do want to give a quick shout out as well to Tony and the Wrestling Guy store. My brother and I, of course, you guys know him as San Fran 5. Took a trip to the store today. Again, you know, the last time we went, you guys saw that we had, well, I had purchased the Judgment Day 2006 pay-per-view event, the chair that was at that event. Of course, my brother, myself, my family, we had attended that show way back when in 2006. So I thought it was a great opportunity to pick that up as a form of memorabilia. Also picked up a couple of action figures. We got the Sting action figure from AEW Revolution. It was his very last matchup in his professional wrestling career, as well as CM Punk here, who you can see right by my microphone, the defining moment, which is his pipe bomb back in 2011. So we stopped by the store there, got another couple of pickups there. It wasn't any action figures or any memorabilia, but they had increased their availability in the DVD section. Now, as you guys may have already seen, I do have a collection of DVDs here off to my left. I have an extensive collection of professional wrestling DVDs. We actually went through every single one of them in one of our previous live streams. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go back in the archives. It is me just sharing the extensive collection of wrestling DVDs that I have been able to acquire over the course of my life, over the course of my fandom, and I have made some addition to that collection. So again, giving people the opportunity to join in on the live, I did want to share what I picked up at the Wrestling Guy store. I picked up 4, right? Something reasonable, because I know they're going to be getting more in their inventory pretty soon, and once they do, I will be dropping by and probably picking up a little bit more. But first off, with the first pickup here at the Wrestling Guy store, I have a collection of WrestleMania DVDs that date back all the way to 2003. From 2003 to 2015, because that was when I stopped buying pay-per-view DVDs because of the network and because of streaming. But there was always one that I was missing, and for some reason I never bought it. I don't know why. I just never got around to it. It was the first WrestleMania that had gone HD, high definition. It would be the 2008 WrestleMania 24, main evented by The Undertaker and Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. Other notable matches that had taken place on this night in 2008. Triple threat match, John Cena, Randy Orton, Triple H. For the WWE title, of course, Mayweather versus The Big Show also had taken place, and it's also most notable for the retirement matchup between Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, and Shawn Michaels, the all-time greatest. Other matches on the card, of course, Money in the Bank, We know Batista fought Umaga in a battle for brand supremacy matchup. Chavo Guerrero versus Kane for the ECW title. Amongst other matches that had taken place, I do think WrestleMania 24 should be considered as one of the better WrestleManias, at least in like the modern era of WrestleMania. It is certainly up there for me between the vibe of the event, the atmosphere, the stage and the entrance, the matches, and just the overall look. It was the first one in HD, so visually it is a very, very special pay-per-view for my sake because of just visually how it looked tremendous. You know, again, the stage is in Florida, memorable matches, memorable moments across the card. Definitely something I had to pick up and to update my WrestleMania collection. Following that, I got one that was very near and dear to my heart because it reminded me of when I was a kid as a pro wrestling fan. It was the year 2005, and a lot of things had transpired in that year in the WWE. Some people think it's a down year for them, but I never looked at it that way. I look at it with very fond memories because of this nostalgia. It was during a time where SmackDown and Raw were, doing battle, SmackDown versus Raw things, and growing up I was a big fan of seeing the two brands go at it. And it was the Survivor Series 2005. I believe it was in Detroit, Michigan. It is, of course, the event where The Undertaker made his return, but other notable matches on the card, of course. I talked about the SmackDown versus Raw matchup where the Raw team was Chris Masters, Carlito, Kane, The Big Show, and the team captain, Shawn Michaels. And on SmackDown, the Blue brand, we had, I think, one of the better teams during this period in time. Bobby Lashley, a very young Bobby Lashley, JBL, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, and of course the world champion Batista. This would be the first event following Eddie Guerrero's passing, so it is a very memorable pay-per-view in my memory. Also, other matches on the card: Cena versus Kurt Angle, always down for their matchups. Benoit versus Booker T, fantastic. And you want something fun and silly: Theodore Long versus Eric Bischoff in a general manager versus general manager matchup. Had to pick it up. Looking forward to reliving this. I know it's available on Peacock. I know it's available on the network. I get it. But it's different to have it as a tangible copy. And I'm really happy with this pickup as well. Shout out to San Fran. I see you in the chat. And Mohammed, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining us in the live stream. Thank you, San Fran, for joining me on the Wrestling Guy store trip. The third, 3 out of 4, the third pickup that I got at the store is a interesting wrestling documentary. I know a lot of you diehard fans out there are very familiar with it. Beyond the Mat, released in the late 90s, 99 I believe, where it covers the inner workings of professional wrestling. To me, it's one of those first instances where kayfabe for me had been broken. We were learning things behind the scenes, the inner workings of the business. Following Terry Funk and his many retirements, Mick Foley and his reckless, style of wrestling. It covers the Royal Rumble in 1999 event where he had gone one-on-one with the Great One, The Rock, in an I Quit match, and in front of his own family had received chair shots to the head on several occasions, and again, just a total disregard for his own well-being. It is a riveting documentary, and I feel like it is one that every professional wrestling fan should see. It's credited as being the movie Vince McMahon doesn't want you to see. I think with an updated caption, it's probably the second movie he doesn't want you to see, the first being Netflix's documentary on Vince McMahon. But again, that one, a very, very good pickup on my book. I'm looking forward to reliving and rewatching that documentary. And finally, this one is my personal favorite. It was the very first one that I found in the store, and immediately I saw it, and I'm like, you know what? I got to pick it up. There's no way that I was not going to pick it up. It is February 2002, No Way Out. Now, this one is very special because not only is it a triple main event with obviously Stone Cold Steve Austin challenging Chris Jericho for the Undisputed Championship, it's also where the Rock had faced off against The Undertaker and Kurt Angle versus Triple H. But what is very special about this is it is now officially the only WWF DVD that I own. All the other ones, of course, are WWE purchases. This is the first one with the F logo, World Wrestling Federation. I had to pick this up. How could I not? I mean, you had solid matches like the triple main event that I talked about. A tag team turmoil, tag team titles are on the line as well. Goldust versus RVD. I mean, a solid pickup again. Super happy. If you're in the Phoenix area, make sure you check out the Wrestling Guy store. They have t-shirts, they have memorabilia, they have action figures, DVDs, as well as signed pictures and frames of some of the wrestlers that have taken part in their meet and greet. So again, if you're in the area, Phoenix area, look up the Wrestling Guy store. I believe they have a sister location in California as well. So check that out. They will arrest you for having that. Hell, they better not. I mean, I had to pick this up, man, with the WWF logo. That's ridiculous. Had to pick that up. Shout out to Sir Robert. But yeah, those were some of the pickups that we had here at the Wrestling Guy store. Really happy with my purchases. I'm going to be watching No Way Out probably tonight. You know, I haven't seen it in a long time, but to see how we've been there. Don't know how long you've been on here. What are your predictions, sir? We just jumped on Dethroned by Eli. I was giving people an opportunity here to join the live stream. I thought about sharing some of the DVDs that I bought at the Wrestling Guy store. But now that we've acquired enough people here in the live stream, let's just go jump right into it. First off, 3 WWE events. If you want to know my AEW predictions, check out the AEW video that I uploaded earlier this week where I talk about every single matchup that was already scheduled for All In. But for this live stream, we're going to be focusing on the 3 WWE PLEs. We have the Great American Bash, NXT's latest premium live event. Following that, we will have Saturday night's main event, and of course, Sunday's WWE Evolution. Let's start with NXT Great American Bash. I will say, to have this counter program with AEW is a bold move, because I'm quite frankly, I'm looking at the Great American Bash card. It's not really inspiring to me. I look at the card, and there's really only maybe 2 matches that I'm actually interested in. One being the tag team match between Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe, formerly known as Mariah May, versus Fatal Influence, and of course the Falls Count Anywhere match between Ricky Saints and Ethan Page. Outside of those 2 matches, I really don't have too much investment in the Great American Bash. It should be a solid show for the NXT brand, but in comparison to All In, which will be taking place at the same time, it's kind of weaker of the 2, I will say. What's going on, Reese? What's up, Jose? Nice videos. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Make sure you guys drop in the comments as well and in the chat what are your predictions for the matches. Let's start off with Jasper Troy versus Javon Evans. 2 very young and a lot of potential in these 2 athletes. Javon Evans, I think, is going to be a star. You know, whether it's an NXT or the main roster, this guy has a connection with the crowd, the move set, the personality. Love everything I see from Javon Evans, and Jasper Troy has been proven to be quite an interesting pickup here for the WWE ever since LFG and coming to the NXT brand, already making a big impact. And for that reason, I look at Javon Evans, he'll be just fine. He's one of those baby faces that we will continue to support, continue to back up regardless of wins or losses. But Jasper Troy right now is on a mission, on a collision course to get another matchup against Obafemi, the current reigning and defending NXT champion. And I feel like that's the direction we're going to end up going back in. I can't see a world where Javon Evans beats Jasper Troy. I think Jasper Troy and Javon Evans have a fine matchup. I don't think it's going to be anything lengthy. I do think it'll be a decisive victory for Jasper Troy and give an opportunity to put him back in the main event title picture. With that being said, Javon Evans is going to be fine taking a loss here. Again, he's one of those guys where we're going to continue to support him no matter what. It's going to develop a lot of empathy for him and his next quest for whatever title he goes for next, whether it's the North American title or the world title. He'll be just fine. But Jasper Troy gets the victory. We talk about young up-and-coming potentials in NXT, and it's time for the Falls Count Anywhere matchup. The NXT North American title. 2 of AEW's alumni, of course, Ethan Page, the current defending champion, and Ricky Saints, who's the former champion. I really look forward to this matchup. I feel like the chemistry between the 2 works really well, and just the foil that they present with Ethan Page being the egotistical heel and Ricky Saints is kind of that determined, a little bit cocky, but very confident baby face. I don't like the idea of having championships, play hot potato and back and forth between title holders, but I do think this is where we're going to see Ricky Saints win that title back. I think he gets the win over Ethan Page, kind of gets his win back after suffering that loss way back when. I think it's important to have Ricky Saints with a lengthy title reign before he gets to the main roster. Ricky Saints is great. Ever since he was Ricky Starks in AEW, we know he has the look, he has the personality, certainly has the charisma. It's just about developing more of a connection with the audience. He kind of already has that with NXT. But I feel like a lengthy North American title reign would do wonders for him and his search for main roster gold. I have Ricky Saints winning the matchup, beating Ethan Page, and probably putting a nice bow on their little feud. Maybe even we see Ethan Page move up to the main roster following it, because after this, I can't really see Ethan Page do too much on NXT. He's already won the World Championship, won the North American title. There's nothing much for him really to accomplish. So I feel like after this feud, Page drops the title to Ricky Saints and moves up to the main roster, and we'll see where he goes from there. Speaking of titles, and the North American title, that is, let's talk about the women's division. The North American champion, Sol Ruca, who I think was a great choice to win the title, will be defending her title against Izzy Dame. And this one I've gone back and forth with. I don't think we're going to see a lot of title changes this upcoming weekend when it comes to Great American Bash. But I look at this matchup, and Sol Ruca and Zarya will be pulling back-to-back double duty as they will be competing, or she will be competing at Great American Bash, and then the tag team will be a part of that tag team title matchup on Sunday. So I always look at these back-to-backs and how they were to book them. I don't think they're going to win, spoiler alert, I don't think they're going to win the tag titles at Evolution. But will she retain the title? The inclusion of Tatum Paxley is very interesting because I feel heading into this matchup, I was ready to say Sol Ruca for the win. But Tatum Paxley, I feel like, is going to try to earn the trust and gain favor with the culling and, of course, Izzy Dame. I think we're going to see Tatum Paxley interfere in some form or fashion and have Izzy Dame win the North American title. I like Sol Ruca. I'm a big supporter of hers, both just in terms of personality and just the athletic ability that she has. She, to me, could be the next big star when it comes to NXT and moving up the NXT women's division, certainly like a world championship. But Izzy Dame, I feel like her ceiling is the mid-card title. I don't see her winning the world championship, but I do see her winning the North American title this upcoming weekend at Great American Bash, albeit it'll probably be through interference from Tatum Paxley. So we're going to go with there. Back-to-back title changes there. Next up, we have the tag team match. It's Blake Monroe, Jordan Grace versus Fatal Influences JC Jane and Fallon Henley. This is a routine matchup. This is just an A to B matchup. It's trying to get you from point A to point B. This is the lead-in to the world title matchup on NXT. It'll be a good refresher here for all involved, as we haven't seen Fatal Influence tag in a while. Jordan Grace gets a little warm-up matchup before her big title matchup on Evolution. And then Blake Monroe will have her second matchup here on TV against the heel tag team. I look at these kind of matches, and I always wonder, okay, who's taking the pin? I cannot see Jordan Grace taking the pin just a day out from the NXT World Title matchup. I can't see JC Jane taking the pin just one day out of their World Title matchup. So that leaves us with Fallon Henley, and that leaves us with Mariah May, now known as Blake Monroe. I don't see Blake Monroe taking the loss here because she just showed up on NXT. The last thing they want to do is derail her momentum and already give her a loss this early on, especially with a matchup that is so inconsequential like a tag team matchup here. There's nothing on the line. There's no consequences. There's no type of a favor to gain or even lose with this matchup. It doesn't even affect Blake Monroe in the slightest. It's really just a matchup for Fallon Henley, or excuse me, JC Jane, and for Jordan Grace. So with that being said, I'm thinking Jordan Grace gets the victory here by pinning Fallon Henley, gaining momentum for the tag team or the tag matchup on Sunday. So I'm going to have Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe taking the victory at Great American Bash. That leads us to the main event for the Great American Bash. the NXT Championship. Obafemi, the ruler of NXT, will be defending his title against Inamura. Listen, I get it. They want to have us believe that Inamura is going to win. He's not. He's not. I got to give NXT credit. They really tried their damnedest to try to make us believe that Obafemi, in the slightest, could lose this title. He's not. He's not. NXT at its best is a great showcase for the young up-and-coming talent, honing in on their skills prior to joining the main roster. So when they have matchups as the main event, I'm expecting some potential. I'm expecting a decent matchup. Not match of the year, by no means. But Obafemi has had a history of having fantastic matches against larger opponents. This matchup against Inamura, I personally have no feeling for. Obafemi's winning the matchup. But it's a matchup, unfortunately, I could just skip. And I try to praise pro wrestling. I try to be positive and optimistic. But I also try to be very honest with you guys. And this main event doesn't do it for me. Obafemi wins. I don't think it's going to be very competitive. I do think they're going to try to get us to believe that Inamura is going to win and believe a little bit of shock value in some of these near falls and have some kind of rocky aspiration for him to try to motivate the crowd and believing that he can do it. But Inamura is not winning this title. He is not winning this title. So Obafemi goes over. Quick recap. I have Jasper Troy defeating Javon Evans. We have two new champions crowned in the form of North American champions as Ricky Saints and Izzy Dame win the North American titles. Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace get the victory in the tag team matchup, and Obafemi successfully defends the NXT World Championship. That's what we have for the Great American Bash on Saturday. But on Saturday night, we have Saturday night's main event, four matches on the card currently, with the first being the United States Championship, as Solo Sikoa will be defending the U.S. title against his older brother, Jimmy Uso. Big Jim. I actually am looking forward to this matchup. We've only seen an Usos matchup once, Jimmy versus Jay. Have we seen Solo versus Jimmy on a big stage like this, on a PLE, if you will? It's for the U.S. title, and you guys know how I feel about hot potatoing that title. Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy Uso has a lot of potential here, being that they're brothers. We're thinking they're going to have some level of chemistry, even though a certain set of twin brothers may not have had the best chemistry. But Solo has played his character very well. He's kind of like this humor of an antagonist. You know, he has this cheesy type of humor to him. I find him to be very entertaining. I think he's improved over the course of these last 2 years. And Jimmy Uso, again, all around a talent, is great on the microphone, great in the ring. I look forward to this matchup, but I do think because of people like Tongaloa, because of people like Jeff Cobb and Tala Tonga, maybe even Tama Tonga makes an appearance, I do think they get involved. They prevent Jimmy Uso from winning the matchup, and we have a successful retention of the U.S. title. Solo Sikoa goes over. Next up, we have I would say a Monday Night Raw matchup, but one of their guys is actually a SmackDown guy, technically. It'll be LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. This matchup is very intriguing because I've been talking up LA Knight these last couple of weeks. He's finally being presented as like a main event star, not a mid-card guy trying to peek into the main event. Main event guy. He's been in high-profile segments on Monday Night Raw, brushing up against the likes of Gunther, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, of course, and even got the final say on the episode of Raw that just happened. He was the final one standing tall. But if we know anything about the WWE, traditionally, whoever stands tall at the go away home or the go away show ends up taking the pin. I look at LA Knight, and I don't think he's pinning Mr. Money in the Bank, especially Seth Rollins, who's well on his way to winning another world title. It's just a matter of when, not if. And on top of that, you look at the numbers game: Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman, maybe a new member of the group as well at some point, but Seth Rollins gets the victory. I'm just hoping it's a good matchup. And with two talents like LA Knight, and Seth Rollins, it should be a good one. Should be a good one. That one's elementary. That one's an easy pick. What isn't an easy pick is the SmackDown matchup: Randy Orton, the three most dangerous letters in the WWE, the RKO, versus Drew McIntyre. This is a tough one. I don't see Randy taking a lot of pins. He's a legend. Was a legend killer, but he's a legend now. And Drew McIntyre has been eating pins for a while now. Drew McIntyre just returned. And for me, that's a big hint as to who wins. I can't see Drew losing this matchup. He just returned. And I feel like he needs this momentum more than Randy. Randy's fine. Like I said with Javon Evans, he's that babyface we'll always support. He'll be fine. I think Drew McIntyre gets the victory. He beats Randy Orton. And we get one step closer to that heel turn. Randy's turning heel before the end of the year. And it's going to be glorious. Because a heel Randy Orton, there ain't nothing like a heel Randy Orton. So that's going to be on Saturday. Drew McIntyre gets the victory over Randy. And we start to see the slow descent into madness. The voices in his head will become louder and louder. And we'll see Randy taking a pin here on Saturday night's main event. And how apropos, how appropriate the main event. The world champion, the ring general, the 2024 King of the Ring, Gunther, will be placing his World Heavyweight title on the line against Goldberg, WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg, in what would be his final matchup here in his illustrious career. You know how I felt about it. We've been talking about it for weeks, maybe damn near a month at this point, about my opinion, my feelings about Gunther versus Goldberg. You guys, if you have been watching the streams, and I know you have, if you're watching the stream right now, odds are you've been with us throughout the course of these last few weeks. You guys know I don't think Gunther has any business losing this match. Should not be losing this matchup. Yes, Goldberg is one of the all-time greats in WCW history. Yes, Goldberg is a Hall of Famer. He's a legend, providing memories and memories for generations of fans. But there is no good reason for him to win this world champion. Even for people out there saying, well, he could win the world title and then Seth cashes in. This is true. This could happen. But then why? Why would it even happen? Because if Goldberg wins the world title and he drops it to Seth via cash-in, what's the payoff? I don't think there's a payoff there. He has no business winning this matchup. This matchup, as previously stated, has no business going past 7 minutes. No business. But then someone on the previous live stream had an excellent point. They said, Jose, don't you remember at Backlash, Pat McAfee, who's not even a wrestler, he's one of the best NFL punters of all time, we'll give him that, but he went 10 plus minutes, I believe it was 13 minutes. He went 13 minutes with Gunther. Do we really think Goldberg can't do that? And not the fact that he can or can't do it, it's a fact of should he. The longer the match goes, I'm afraid the worse the match may be. And the longer the match goes, we're now leaving it open to the possibility of either one or both individuals getting hurt, and that's the last thing we need. We don't need anybody getting hurt. We want people to be safe. We want people to be smart. And what is smart is to end this matchup in 7 minutes. What is smart is for Gunther to get the victory here. Sure, Goldberg can have his moments, deliver a spear, maybe tease a jackhammer, because I don't trust him picking up Gunther over his head. But then ultimately, the way to go out is it's book it. Gunther is going to have Goldberg in a sleeper hold, and he's going to put him to bed like it's his 2-year-old son. They're not going to do a tap. They're not going to do a forfeit. What's going to happen is you're going to see Gunther, get a sleeper hold on Goldberg, choke him out. You're going to see Goldberg try to fight out of it, develop a little bit of heat, develop a little bit of tension, until ultimately, just like the old man that he is, put him to sleep. And Gunther wins. And Gunther retains the title. And it better not be over 7 minutes. It better not be over 7 minutes. That's my little rant on Goldberg and the Gunther matchup. So as a reminder, as a recap, Saturday night's main event. I have Jimmy Uso taking the loss to Solo Sikoa. I got Randy Orton taking the loss against Drew McIntyre. We got Seth Rollins defeating LA Knight. And then we have Gunther retaining against Goldberg. No cash-in. No cash-in. But I'll tell you what we're cashing in on. Took him quite some time here. What is it, 7 years? Took him 7 years to cash in on the success of WWE Evolution WWE Evolution back in 2018, the first and only all women's pay-per-view event with matches like Becky Lynch versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's title, the Raw Women's title between Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella. We also had Rhea Ripley, a very young Rhea Ripley, as the NXT champion against Dakota Kai, and of course a battle royal that was held that night as well. How ironic, back where it all happened, a battle royal will be taking place at this year's WWE Evolution, but this time the winner will receive a title opportunity at Clash in Paris. A lot of women in this matchup here, a lot of potential, but I do think there's one name that stands heads and heels over everybody else. I feel like it's Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie has really garnered the imagination of the WWE audience, not only with her wrestling prowess, but obviously with the vibe, with the energy, with the charisma that she brings, being that she is La Primera. Stephanie wins this battle royal. Gets a matchup at Clash in Paris. It's just a matter of against who. It's a matter of against who. And it's difficult for me to believe that she doesn't win this matchup because it's always a game of momentum. Who is the hottest and who will benefit from a victory like this? Stephanie Vaquer. Granted, they can give it to anybody else, but I feel like someone of that type of a star quality will benefit from it. Stephanie goes over, wins the battle royal. Should be a good one. Love a good battle royal. We also have a no holds barred matchup. Two heated rivals, former friends, Naomi, Miss Money in the Bank, versus the Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill. Two accolades, two heated rivals, one last time. Jade versus Naomi. Love a good no holds barred matchup. That'll be fun. That'll be interesting. It should be the blow off. It's difficult for me to see here too. Not just because I have glasses, prescription, difficult for me to see, but the fact is, either one of these women could go over. You want to be able to push your Miss Money in the Bank because whoever she cashes in on, you want to look strong against them, right? So if we have someone continuing to lose that matchup, it kind of decreases the credibility of that Money in the Bank contract holder, and vice versa. You look at Jade Cargill, just won the tournament for the Queen of the Ring and has earned a championship opportunity against the WWE Women's Champion at the SummerSlam event. So heading into that matchup, I don't see her losing. Why would you have her lose before a championship matchup? I do see Jade Cargill getting this victory. I think Jade wins. Naomi takes the loss. And this is what I think happens. Jade's going to beat whoever the women's champion is at SummerSlam. As of right now, it's looking like it's going to be Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. She beats Tiffany Stratton. And that's when we get the cash in. That's when we see Naomi get the better of Jade Cargill. So even though Naomi doesn't win this matchup, ultimately she'll get the last laugh and she'll cash in on Jade. That's my prediction. Tag team matchup. The women's tag team championships will be competed for in a WWE Fatal 4-Way matchup. 4 teams. 1 set of champions. 3 different brands being represented. The Judgment Days, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, who's filling in for Liv Morgan at the moment, will be defending those titles against NXT's Sol Ruca and Zarya, Raw's Kabuki Warriors, aka Asuka and Kairi Sane, as well as SmackDown's makeshift team of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I immediately know NXT is not winning this. There's no way. No way, no how. Right? I also think we're going to start teasing the breakup of Zarya and Sol Ruca, being that I think Sol Ruca is going to lose the NXT Women's Championship at Great American Bash to Izzy Dame. They're going to lose this matchup here. They might even take the pin, truthfully. And I think that's going to begin the slow breakup of Sol Ruca and Zarya. It's been a good ride. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun. But it's going to be the beginning of the end for them. I don't think it's going to be the Kabuki Warriors. I love Asuka. Love Kairi. I don't think it's going to be the plan. Damage Control has broken up. Everyone's doing their own thing. Io's the world champion. Kairi's been having a singles run. Asuka just made her return. And Dakota Kai's gone, unfortunately. So I don't see them dropping the belts on them. So that leaves us with 2. That leaves us with the Judgment Day, Roxanne and Raquel. And then, of course, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, who have just became a tag team. They're now developing a little bit more chemistry. We saw Charlotte Flair almost kind of happy that they won their matchup last Friday night SmackDown. But this is how I see it happening. Shout out to Dion in the chat. I see you, my friend. Appreciate you. We're just talking about predictions here for Evolution, Great American Bash, and Saturday night's main event. Feel free to drop your predictions in the chat below. I can see it going this way. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan were very hesitant of having Roxanne Perez in the Judgment Day. She's still learning the ropes. She's still earning her keep and earning the respect and trust of the people in the Judgment Day. So I look at the makeshift team of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, same thing, trying to earn their trust, trying to get back together and become a team in itself. I can't see Charlotte and Alexa Bliss winning just like that. They've only had one matchup. I think Raquel and Roxanne win because we're not done with the Judgment Day. We're going to start earning that trust for Roxanne. We're going to start seeing them come together, come closer, so when the eventual return of Liv Morgan comes, it's all the much more impactful. Also because I think Charlotte and Alexa aren't ready just yet. I think they may win, but just not yet. We're going to go with the Judgment Day's Roxanne and Raquel to go over in this Fatal 4-Way matchup. Now we're down to the 4 championships. 3 main titles, 1 mid-card title. Let's talk about NXT. NXT championships on the line. Jordynne Grace, former Impact champion, former Impact Knockouts champion, versus the current reigning and defending NXT Women's Champion, Fatal Influences, Jacy Jayne, the unlikely champion in Jacy Jayne, who got the victory, the shocking victory over Stephanie Vaquer all those weeks ago on NXT. The moment she won, I was shocked. I was very surprised to see Stephanie drop that title against Jacy Jayne, but I already knew. I already understood the mission, and I got it. Transitional champion. No disrespect to Jacy. She's been doing fine work on NXT for a couple of years now, but it's a transitional champion. What's a transitional champion, you may ask? A transitional champion is the champion in between 2 big names. So we had Stephanie Vaquer, and we had Jordynne Grace compete at Battleground for the NXT Women's Championship. Of course, didn't change hands. Stephanie was still champion. So then we have, in her place, Jacy Jayne win the title, and I'm telling you right now, it's going to drop it to Jordynne Grace. Don't see Jordynne Grace losing. Can't see her losing. And it's Evolution. You want a big moment. Big championship win for Jordynne Grace. Her first WWE Women's title and during her tenure. Come on. It's elementary. Jordynne Grace for the win. Dion says, any surprises / opinions for Saturday night's main event or Evolution? I do think for Saturday night's main event, Seth and LA Knight, we're probably going to see some kind of return. I don't know if it's going to be Roman. Maybe it could be Punk. But I look at a guy like Roman, and I feel like that's safe for the main event. Roman shows up at the end. And I don't think it's going to be the main event. The only way it could be the main event is, this is what they could do. And I don't think it's going to happen, but this could happen. Like, in this fantasy booking. If you have Gunther and Goldberg go first and open the matchup because it's going to be less than 7 minutes, at least I hope it is, then you can have LA Knight versus Seth as the main event, and then that's going to be a return for Roman Reigns to set up maybe SummerSlam. I think that's an option there. But I don't think they're going to go that route. I think it's more likely to see LA Knight versus Seth as the opener and have them tease something during the main event. But no, I don't think they're going to main event. I think it's going to be Gunther versus Goldberg. In terms of the U.S. title matchup, maybe a Tama Tonga appearance. These Saturday night's main event shows aren't really real full of surprises, to tell you the truth. And as for Evolution, I think we might get some surprises in the Battle Royal. Some appearances there. I do think, well, we'll get to that in a bit here. Dion says R-Truth. I don't know about R-Truth because his thing has been with Cena and with Aleister Black. You know? So I don't think we get an appearance for R-Truth. If you're talking about R-Truth in the sense of like the surprise of him versus John Cena, I wouldn't consider that a surprise either. It was just a standard matchup. His surprise happened at the Money in the Bank show. He might just pop out and open a can. But again, R-Truth, his beef has been with obviously John Cena, and then Aleister Black. So it's like, who would he go up against? He's not going to interject himself, obviously, in Gunther Goldberg. So that's already out of there. Seth and LA, out of there. Randy and Drew, maybe. Doubtful, but maybe. The one that might make sense is Solo. On Solo, maybe for the mid-card title. Why is he beefing with Aleister? Because Aleister had laid him out with the Black Mass. And had even gotten a win over him as well. And we haven't seen Truth since the last time Aleister Black delivered that Black Mass. Like, why did he choose him? Aleister Black got a little offended. Our Truth kind of got in his face and interrupted him. And so Aleister Black took it a certain way and was like, okay, it's fine. So he took it out on our Truth. Because our Truth jumped in during his segment. But sticking on SmackDown, sticking with the SmackDown brand here, we also have the WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton versus the legend herself, Trish Stratus, a former 7-time Women's Champion. She had the opportunity to choose her opponent for Evolution. I'm not a fan of that type of booking where they get to choose their opponent. I'd rather have my champions face someone who has earned their championship opportunity. I don't like it being handed. I'm not a fan of that. Trish versus Tiffany Stratton. The easiest one to book. Trish isn't winning. This is just an opportunity to put Tiffany over, gets a victory over a big name like Trish Stratus. I'm going to talk about that in a second here. I saw your comment, Dion. Tiffany goes over. Dion says, okay, I just watched SmackDown highlights because of my busy schedule. I hear you, man. It's a lot of stuff to keep up with, and thank God for highlights and for the YouTube and TikTok highlights that we get. Because it's a lot of content out there, but I promise you, that's why I watch the shows. Because if you guys can't keep up or if you're out there busy, I got you. Just come back here and we'll recap it, of course. But yeah, it's the little details like that. What if AJ Lee or Paige comes back? I think we're more likely going to see Paige. I think that's more like AJ Lee. I don't buy it, man. I'll believe it when I see it. It's like the CM Punk return. I'll believe it when I see it. I would love to see AJ Lee come back. She was my favorite during that period in time of the women's division. Back when they were still the Divas division. Her and CM Punk were my people, and so knowing now that they're a married couple, it's awesome. I love it, man. I'm happy for them. But I do think Paige is far more likely than AJ Lee. I do. And it would be very, justified for Paige because she wasn't able to participate in the first ever Evolution because of her injury that she sustained against Mercedes, then known as Sasha Banks. So I do think Paige, and what great timing would that be? She just had a Chris Van Vliet interview, so that would be great timing for Paige to make a return. But I would love AJ Lee to come back. I just don't think it's going to happen. Nikki Bella coming back full-time. Do we see Brie as well? I don't think she's coming back full-time. Again, it's just a guest appearance. People saw her at the Royal Rumble this year, and everyone was like, full-time. No, it was just a one-off. We didn't see her after that. Same thing. We're going to see her for a one-off. If we do see her, it'll probably be a lead-up to a match at SummerSlam. Aside from that, no. Nikki Bella's not full-time. I have not seen anything that would lead me to believe that she's back full-time. As for Brie, yeah, I think we could see Brie come back eventually. I haven't seen this confirmed or not. I think the original plan was, yeah, she says she's here to stay, but is she? She's not. The Rock said the same thing, and he had left. He split months after that. So, again, I'll believe it when I see it. Nikki's not full-time. Plus, where would she be in the division? It doesn't work. I don't think it works. But Brie, I do see Brie coming back for maybe like a tag matchup at SummerSlam potentially. They got to fill up that card because it's 2 nights now. I think I saw somewhere that when the Liv Morgan stuff was beginning with Nikki Bella, it was going to lead to a tag team matchup between Liv Morgan and Raquel versus the Bellas. Now, if that is true or not, I don't know. I haven't seen that to be confirmed that was in the plans. I would not be surprised. I would have preferred Nikki versus Liv just one-on-one without the tag team matchup. But I do think if Nikki does have a match at SummerSlam, I could see Brie being a part of it in some capacity, whether it is a tag team matchup, whether she is accompanying her to the ring. But that's only if they have a SummerSlam matchup. I don't see it happening. that this run is going to be better than her old one. Which one? Like, which run? Are we talking about the original run, like where she had her Divas Championship run, the year long title run that beat a AJ Lee record, or the consequential one that came after? Because nothing's gonna top that original one with the Divas title. She was dominant. She was the face of the division there for a minute. But again, I don't think so. Who would it be? Who would it be your opponent? It would have been Liv, but Liv is out injured. Oh snap! Your birthday's tomorrow. No way. Wait, whoa, what's tomorrow? July 11th. Well, happy early birthday, Dion. Hey, I appreciate you being here on the stream. That's awesome. You wait till now to drop that? Dion's been on the stream for a minute now. And that's when you drop the bombshell. Your happy birthday. Everyone wish happy birthday to Dion in the chat. One of our friends here on the stream. Appreciate you for all your support. Hope you enjoy your birthday. Hope you are surrounded by loved ones and you have a great time and enjoy another year, man, here on this Rock from the Sun. So, shout out to Dion. Do you think Candice Michelle will be at Evolution? Salvi, what's going on? I just realized that was Salvi. How you doing, buddy? Glad to see you back on the stream. I would hope so. But there's been a lot of reports that some of these legends, like Candice Michelle, like Michelle McCool, they've said that they haven't had any type of contact with the WWE in regards to an appearance at Evolution. I don't know if that has anything true to it, whether it's them, playing kayfabe or not. I want to say yes. I don't think the Battle Royal is just done. I feel like they're going to have some surprises in store. I do think we're going to see like the likes of Candice, Michelle, maybe Kelly, like those usual individuals that we see during the reunion shows. I'm going to say yes. Yes, sir. Thanks, buddy. You got it, man. I might just watch NXT Great American Bash too. And honestly, Jose, I'm dirty 30. I feel like it's not news. And I'm just glad to have a productive schedule and get things done. I respect it, man. I respect the hustle. The dirty 30. I'm almost there too, man. I'm almost there too. I'm with you. Right around the corner. That's awesome, though. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. How about Lita? Maybe. I would hope so. I think Candice Michelle McCool, like those mid-card type of names, more likely than Lita. But I would love to be proven wrong. Of course, I'm going to treat myself to a little something, but right now, buddy, I'm grinding like it's no tomorrow. That's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it. Keep grinding. But again, it's always important to make sure that you treat yourself, you take care of yourself, and not burn yourself out. So make sure you set some time aside. Enjoy yourself. Your birthday only comes once a year. So one day without a grind won't hurt nobody, right? That's awesome, though. Super happy for you. Again, happy birthday. Dirty 30, man. That's wild. How quick the time flies, right? I'm telling you. We discussed Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus. Salvi says, damn, you guys making me feel old. I mean, hey, you're only as old as you feel, right? I've said it. Hey, I don't know about you guys. I'm going to turn 28 next year. But I still feel good. I feel like I'm still 21, 22 years old. So that's funny. The Raw division, Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley will be facing off against Io Sky. Or did I call her the Women's Champion already? The Women's Champion Io Sky will be facing Rhea Ripley for that very title. I guess I gave it away. I would love to see Io Sky get this victory, but I don't think she gets it. Io's my guy. Io's my girl. And she, to me, is the best women's wrestler on the roster, but I think they're going to go with Rhea Ripley. I just feel it. I don't see where else they're going to go with Io. I think we're going to be setting up a matchup here of Stephanie versus Rhea at Clash in Paris. I'll say also, why do you think the winner of these PLEs get to face the champion so easy? They need to go back into the old days by having battle royals or gauntlet matches and putting everyone in the mix. I agree 100% with you. I look at the way the WWE is currently structured too, because we have so many damn shows: Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Saturday Night's Main Event, all these PLEs. I remember back in the day during these pay-per-view events, you would have a pay-per-view and just a random number one contenders matchup. I used to love these tournaments. I used to love just these ways to earn a title matchup. I prefer that. I prefer that. And even then, they have these segments where it's like, okay, Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. They had this segment where it's like Io chose Rhea Ripley. I totally get that. And in the past, we've seen times where women or men throw their name into the hat saying, I want a title shot against you. But they had to earn it. We knew that they were going to be the number one contender, but you still got to see a matchup and see them earn it. For me, optics is everything. Perception is reality. If I see someone earn a championship title matchup, then that makes me believe, okay, this person could win the title versus them just getting the title opportunity. I hate it. I think it's lazy. I'm not a fan of it. 100% agree with you. And it doesn't have to be title matches or tournament matches. It could be battle royals. It could be gauntlet matches. It could be a fatal four-way number one contender matchup. But I hate seeing just random title matches being thrown together. I like to see people earn those opportunities. It makes it feel all the more better. It makes it feel like it's a struggle to get a title matchup instead of just, oh, I'll wait my turn. Because that's what it feels like sometimes. I'll wait my turn. Having the GM more involved in making this stuff instead of the stories that they're enforcing. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at it, but I just want them to switch it up a bit. No, I agree with you. Totally agree with you. Like, what they did with the women's tag team was cool. Yeah, I like that. That was out of the blue. And yeah, like you said, them raffles and spin the wheel nonsense, I miss it. So here's the thing, too. I do miss, like, the wheels and the old tumbler where they would spin stuff. That was creative. It was entertaining. It was different. It made you look forward to something. The women's tag team matchup, I do like that idea of, hey, we're going to make it a fatal four-way matchup. We're going to give an opportunity to NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. But did you guys notice that SmackDown was the only matchup that had a number one contenders matchup? Flair and Alexa Bliss earned that title matchup. The Kabuki Warriors, given. Soruka and Zarya, named in the matchup. Only one number one contender matchup was named there. I don't like it. I like seeing parity. I like seeing more names being involved in title pictures and not the same people over and over again. And you would think it's not that hard, man. They have so many freaking hours on the week and they still don't do that stuff. Also, can't forget the Cyber Sunday thing. You know, and I'm surprised they haven't done anything like that because social media is such a thing nowadays. Cyber Sunday was ahead of its time, but nowadays, throw up a poll on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, whatever you want to use. I'm surprised they haven't gone back to Cyber Sunday. I'm surprised NXT, hear me out. I'm surprised NXT hasn't done like a Taboo Tuesday, because they're on Tuesdays, and do some kind of a voting poll or some kind of interactive voting for the fans to have their voice in the action. I'm with you. I've thought about that in the past too. Cyber Sunday and Taboo Tuesday are easy things to do for them, given social media. This is a company that claims like, oh, we have millions and millions of views on YouTube, or this clip has been shown millions of times over the internet. For a company that really likes to parade their successes with social media, use it. Use it for like a Taboo Tuesday or Cyber Sunday. Apparently, Cena has about 5 last matches left. Who do you think they will be against? Well, one's against Cody. We know that for a fact. SummerSlam. I do think we're going to see him against Braun Breaker at some point. Yeah, I think it's him or Carmelo. I think Carmelo Hayes or Braun Breaker are going to be his last matchup. He'll put them over, I think. So if I had to say 5, so Cody's 1 for sure. I think we're gonna see Joe Hendry. I think Joe Hendry's gonna be 1 on an episode of SmackDown, or maybe it's a Saturday Night's Main Event. I don't know. But Joe Hendry has made it a mission to interact with Cena, whether it is in ring, a segment, a promo, a matchup. I think Joe Hendry gets a match against John Cena. I really do think that's gonna happen. So Cody, Braun Breaker, Carmelo, Joe Hendry. And I feel like it's got to be one more big name. Jey Uso. maybe Jey Uso, because of the Royal Rumble. Who eliminated Cena and began this slow dissension into the heel turn of 2025? Jey Uso eliminated John Cena at the Royal Rumble. Now, if I can get 3 out of 5 of those right, I'll take it. That's a win. But to answer your question, Salvi, Cody, Jey Uso, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, and Joe Hendry, I think. Say his name and he appears. Hopefully he doesn't have a squash match against Hendry. I hope not either. If he does have that matchup, I could see it going similar to his WrestleMania matchup against Randy. Because I wouldn't say that was a full squash. It was just a spectacle. So, I could see that happening. And Cena goes over. Or who knows, maybe he puts Hendry over as the last matchup. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy, but I don't think so. Great question by Salvi there. I love that. And also great points by Dion there talking about the WWE's booking decisions lately. Hope you guys are doing well here on a Thursday evening on a live stream. We're talking about the predictions for Evolution, for Saturday night's main event and Great American Bash. We've gone through every single matchup except for one, the Intercontinental Championship matchup here between 3 women who I think have earned the opportunity to main event Evolution. I think it should be the main event. Will it be? Probably not. But I do think Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley for the Intercontinental Championship has earned that opportunity to win the main event of Evolution. A story that has been told since before WrestleMania. And now we see Bayley, Lyra, and Becky all in the ring for the first time in a triple threat matchup. I could see it going either way for any of these women, whether it's a Becky retention, whether it's Lyra regaining, or whether it is Bayley winning the championship. But I think Bayley wins. I think Bayley wins. We move forward in the story. I don't think they're finished with this story. And I feel like if Lyra wins or if Becky wins, it is a conclusive end of the story. We move forward. If Bayley wins, I feel like we can stretch it out a little bit longer, maybe to SummerSlam. I think Bayley wins and she gets the pin on Lyra Valkyria. And I think that's going to move forward in their feud because we've already seen Becky versus Lyra. We've seen Bayley versus Becky. But to see Bayley versus Lyra, I think that's the move. And I would love to see that. Don't think we need to turn any of them heel, but I would love to see that. Salvi says, have you heard any of the podcasts or seen any of the podcasts that WWE is now doing? I keep up with the Cody one. What's going on, Will the Savage? I'm doing well, buddy. How you doing? I keep up with the Cody one. I recently listened to his episode with Ricky Saints. The Stephanie one, I watch here and there depending. I saw the Dominic Mysterio one. I haven't seen Randy's. I've seen clips of the Randy one, but I want to watch it. I haven't seen it yet. And then, of course, Sam Roberts, who does his recap show with Megan Morant, I catch every now and then. But the one I consistently listen to is the Cody one. Because he has interviews with, like, Damian Priest, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, Brandy, and most recently, Ricky Saints. So that's probably the one that the ones I listen to the most. Outside of those, the podcast I listen to for wrestling, like I said, the Cody one. I listen to Chris Van Vliet naturally. He's probably my favorite podcast just because of the interviews that he has. Also, I listen to Something to Wrestle With. That was Bruce Pritchard, but lately it's been JBL. A little bit of Jim Cornette, but mostly those I catch the clips on YouTube. I'm still psyched from the July 7th Monday Night Raw when I went there live. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. Overall, a good show. The shows have been good lately. They've been on a good stretch, I feel. What was your favorite match? If you guys haven't seen my predictions for the Great American Bash, Evolution, or Saturday night's main event, the live stream will be available in its entirety in the archive. So make sure you guys go back and rewatch some of those predictions in order to see where we line up with the show and check out if I'm right or wrong. And feel free to call me out if I'm wrong. Feel free to hype me up if I'm right. But if you are also thinking about AEW All In, make sure you check out that video. I have that uploaded already on the channel. And again, AEW All In, the biggest show of the year for AEW. Should be a good show. Looking forward to it. Make sure you guys voice your opinions, ask your questions, and make sure to share your predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video or any of the videos that I share here on YouTube, make sure you like them, comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Join the J area, join the conversation, join the wrestling family here on YouTube. It's been a wild ride. We have hit 4,000 in the last month, on the way to 5,000. So pretty soon, this balloon over here above my shoulder, it's going to be a 5. And that's in large part thanks to you guys for allowing this channel to continue to grow and gain the momentum that it has in 2025. And we're looking for big things throughout the rest of 2025, leading into 2026. So all love and support. Salvi says, I went to a live podcast that Sam Roberts did here in Tampa last year, a day before the Rumble. He had Rhea Ripley and Samantha Irvin on it. That's a good pairing. That's a great pairing of Samantha Irvin and Rhea Ripley. Well, the Savage, I just feel that the WWE is treating Penta like he's never wrestled, but my favorite match was Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn. And what a story that they're telling here with Sami. You know, having people not believe in Sami, that he could be a world champion. The Karrion Kross stuff, I'm very much into it. I like what I see with Sami. And I've called it way back when. I said Sami Zayn's going to win the Rumble, and he's going to beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 42. Keep that in mind. I'm just saying, when it happens, make sure you say you heard it here first. Johnny says, do you think Bill Goldberg's going to win? Absolutely. Unequivocally, no. I don't. I don't. And if he does win, I hazard to think what I would do. I don't know what I would do. He is not, nor should he win that matchup. He should not win that. If they, oh my God, I know for a fact that they have like a writer's room. Let's say it's 8 people, and 7 of them say, oh no, Gunther should win. But there's always that one. Well, what if we had Goldberg win? Hell no. Do not let that man speak. Should not win. I do not think he's going to win. I don't think he should win. I don't think there's any chance that they should let that happen. And if they do, that they deserve all the backlash they're going to get. They deserve every single bit of that backlash that they are going to get if they have Goldberg go over. Absolutely not. I appreciate the question. And the thought. But no, absolutely not. Salvi, if Kevin's got the championship title, which in my opinion was way too soon in his WWE career right now, it's definitely time for Sami to win the championship. It's time. The crowd wants it. The crowd's behind him. His peers respect him. We love him. Reward him for that. Sami is one of the best that they have on that roster. Jay got his moment. Cody finished his story. Seth was the first world champion with this version. Why not? That's why I think WrestleMania 42. Won't Goldberg be the new world record book about being the oldest world champion in wrestling? He might be. I don't know. I gotta look that up, actually. Terry Funk? I gotta look that up. Who is the oldest world champion? Good question by Will there. How old was The Rock? I don't think The Rock was in his 50s when he won it, did he? In 2013? He might be the oldest champion if he wins. Which you're only proving my point. Shouldn't be the winner. Because if a guy like Goldberg beats Gunther, Goldberg hasn't had a matchup in years. Every time he tries and comes back, he ends up hurting himself. Every time. And if he beats Gunther, to me, that hurts his credibility. That hurts Gunther. Which is why I don't think this should happen. Which is why I think the match should not go over 7 minutes. Hulk Hogan will always... Don't even bring up Hogan, man. The last person was Vince McMahon at the age of 54. Well, there you go. And even then, Jesus, why is Vince even getting the title? Who's the first person you think of when you see the Undisputed Championship? Same question for the Big Gold. For the Undisputed Championship, the first person I think of is Eddie Guerrero. just around the time that I grew up, he was a WWE champion. I think of Eddie Guerrero. As for the big gold belt, I, again, keep in mind, growing up as a kid, it was in the WWE. I think of Triple H. I think of Triple H. Um, Obviously, now with a better understanding of the big gold belt and seeing other people hold it, Ric Flair immediately comes to mind, and that visual of him holding the championship. But again, growing up as a kid in the Ruthless Aggression era, Triple H. Undisputed, Brock Lesnar, and the big gold Batista. That's, yeah. And those guys were awesome choices there as well. Brock Lesnar for sure. Batista I would have said, but he won it from Triple H. So I don't know. I've always thought about Triple H with the big gold. And I think also because like subconsciously, Triple H was the first one to hold the world championship in the WWE. So it's just my memory ties him together. Tony Khan should book himself as the youngest wrestling company owner as champion. No, he shouldn't. No, he shouldn't. Brock and Hunter for me. I think Hunter stole the spotlight for several people who should have won it, like Shelton, Test, and Steiner. I don't know if Steiner should have won it. Test would have been interesting. Shelton would have been great. I don't think Steiner would have held it. So technically, John Cena is a 2-time undisputed champion. I mean, hey, technically, if you want to go that route, yeah. It's a fair point. I do also like the fact that John Cena is he's not the only individual, but he, like, the titles he has held: the undisputed title, the Spinner Championship, the Rated R Superstar Championship. He held the WWE title when it was in 2014. He held the one in held this version. Like, he's held so many different versions of that title. Rest in peace to Andrew Martin, better known as Test. One in the Ruthless Aggression and one in the Triple H era. That's right. That's right. No Intercontinental Championship for Cena. No, I don't think he's going to retire with that title. I had said it since the beginning of the farewell tour. I said he's either going to do one or the other. He can't do both. He's either going to get the Grand Slam Championship by earning the IC title, or he's going to break the 17 record. And he got the 17 record. So I don't think he wins the Intercontinental Championship. I don't think he needs it. Would it be cool? Yeah, it'd be cool, but I don't think he needs it. His legacy is already solidified, in my opinion. Jose says, AEW good. I never watched it. It depends on your stance on pro wrestling. You know what I mean? There's some people who are against their style because they see it as very flippy and very acrobatic, which, granted, sometimes, yeah, it can be that. But I think it's very important to broaden your horizons and experience other versions of professional wrestling. So I think it's good. I enjoy it. It is a great refresher and a palate cleanser for the WWE style. I grew up on WWE for the majority of my life, so being able to watch other shows like AEW and TNA, it's a great way to, again, just refresh your taste in pro wrestling. There's a saying that I go by, and that is, a man of many tastes will never starve. So I try to just enjoy as much as I can. AEW, yes, I do enjoy it. I think it's good. Check it out. If you have Max, you can watch their episodes of Dynamite and Collision on HBO Max. And they do have All In this upcoming weekend. Big pay-per-view for them. It's basically their biggest show of the year. You can consider watching it, but I would give it a shot. Some familiar names in WWE are there. Guys like Christian Cage. Guys like Swerve Strickland, who was in NXT. You have guys like Chris Jericho's there. Adam Copeland is there. You know, there's a lot of familiar names. Mercedes Moné. Tony Storm. Do you think AJ beats Dom for the IC title? Then Cena beats AJ for the IC title in France? I don't. I could see AJ winning the IC title, but I don't see Cena winning it. And I wish they would have a matchup. Maybe they do, but maybe not for the Intercontinental title. Do you collect any action figures? I wouldn't say it's a collection. I do have some. So I have the CM Punk one over here above my shoulder. If I can point right. And then on the wall, not the best quality, obviously, because they're far away, Kevin Owens, Sting. I could take off the graphics here. Bret Hart, Sting, and then Kevin Owens. So I don't have an extensive collection. I'm more of a DVD guy. Dethroned, you look fly today. Rikishi. Yeah, shut up. I forgot the Funko Pop down here. Got the Rikishi Funko Pop. That was a gift from my sister. Punk versus Gunther at SummerSlam. They did have that interaction. I think it's a possibility. I thought it was going to be Punk versus Roman at SummerSlam, but I think that's where we're going with. I think it's going to be Gunther versus Punk at SummerSlam. They had that interaction. Punk wants to win the world title. But does he beat Gunther? Oh, man. I don't know, man. But I'm down for it. Punk versus Gunther, down for it. Great question there by Reese, but yes. I think that's where they're going to go. I can't see who would be the next opponent for Gunther, after Goldberg. Gunther beat Brock would be unbelievable. That's the one match I'm upset we didn't get with Brock. I wanted Brock versus Gunther, and I wanted Gunther to go over and be put in position to be like that next monster heel. But then obviously the allegations with Janelle Grant slowed that down. I believe that was supposed to be WrestleMania 40, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 39. No, it was 40. And it just never materialized. But Gunther versus Brock would have been fire. Give those guys as much time as they need. The chest would have been red. The crowd would have been hot. It would have been electrifying. Pretty cool, bro. At least you know your limit, because I have 165. Whew. And my last one for a while now is Big. Wow. No, I mean Big Jim. I saw an Ultimate Edition at the Wrestling Guy store too. 165. But I mean, it's not even that I know my limit. It's just I like having some. My thing's DVDs. I have a whole shelf over here, whether it is pro wrestling or just regular DVDs like movies. That's my vice. I'm a big collector of tangible copies. If you're just joining us here on the live stream too, I actually went to a wrestling store down in Phoenix, Arizona. It's called the Wrestling Guy store, and I purchased some DVDs, some that I didn't have. I got WrestleMania 24 because I have collected a majority of the WrestleManias on DVD, and this is one that I did not have, so I'm really happy that I was able to pick that up. I also picked up Survivor Series 2005 because it was a very special time as a fan growing up as a kid. SmackDown vs. Raw, Taker's big return. I got Beyond the Mat, of course, infamous documentary. I feel like every pro wrestling fan should watch at least once. And I picked up No Way Out 2002, which was very big for me because it is the first and now only WWF pay-per-view that I own as a tangible copy. So this was a big one for me to get. Salvi says, I don't think you've done a video about it, but if you can book your own wrestling event and you can use any wrestlers present day from any company, who would you use and what type of matches would you have? So that's a great concept for a video, Salvi. I did do one last, I think it was in the fall. It might have been like November, maybe. I did do a video where I had booked a 2-day event of AEW versus WWE. I was very proud of that video. I think I'll re-upload it on the channel because I was very proud of it. I booked a 2-night PLE where it's AEW versus WWE. So if you're interested in that, please check out that video. Like I said, I'll upload it on the community posts and share it on YouTube for you guys to visit. But in terms of booking my own wrestling event with any company or any show, that'd be a great video concept. I'm actually gonna write that down because I like that kind of stuff. I'm looking into it. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about fantasy booking. So for example, let's say The Fiend. The Fiend was such a great character for Bray Wyatt in the WWE because it was unique. It captured the imagination of many of the WWE fans who were becoming relapsed and becoming, it was just stale for them. And overall, the booking wasn't the best. So what if I took the Bray Wyatt Fiend character and I booked it the way I would have booked it, and fantasy booked a year's worth of stuff? Other people on YouTube have done that, and I kind of want to try my hand at it. So maybe I will do some fantasy booking on YouTube. Maybe once or twice a month, just because I don't want to burn myself out in terms of booking shows. I don't want to use all my creative juices. Punk beat Gunther. Seth cash in on Punk. That's actually a great call, Reese. I keep saying, though, I think Seth cashes in on Cody. I think Seth cashes in on Cody. But if you go back to the promo with Seth Rollins, he says that he will do everything in his power to prevent Punk from winning that world title. That makes perfect sense to me. Punk beats Gunther and Seth cashes in on Punk. I think you might be onto something, Reese. Put a pin in that. That could actually happen. Great prediction there by Reese. Does Goldberg beat Gunther? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If he beats Gunther, oh my god. Oh my god. I would lose it. If I had hair, I would pull it out, but I don't have hair. Absolutely not. Panther versus Gunther at a house show. I did see that. I'm telling you, Panther's going to be a big player here. Also, you ever thought about doing a 24-hour stream? I have thought about it, but the problem is I value sleep, man. And of course, work schedule. You know what I mean? Like, gotta have a day job. If I was ever fortunate enough to where this could become my full-time, yeah, I would be down. I would be down for a 24-hour stream if this was the full-time, but not yet. I hate we never got Fiend versus the Demon. It's true. But who would have won, right? Those are both protected characters. I have 7 Ultimate Edition action figures, 40 Elites, and 111 118 basics for all my action figures. Extensive, man. Real deep. Goldberg has Hogan heat with Jose. And it's not even like his fault. I want to get this straight. Shout out to Salvi. I want to set things straight. It's not even like I hate Goldberg. I have no problem with Bill Goldberg. I have a problem with his booking. I have a problem with him beating Bray Wyatt for the title. I have a problem for him showing up and taking the title off of Kevin Owens. I have no heat with Goldberg. I have nothing against Bill. I don't like his booking. But yes, it is that serious with me. He has came in and ruined Kevin Owens' title reign. He came in and ruined Bray Wyatt's title reign. I do not want him to come in and ruin Gunther's. 3 for 3. Oh my god. What's up, Tyler? Long time no see, buddy. I can't with it, man. Again, no problem with him. No problem with him. But his booking. We're going to be going live here for maybe another 5 minutes, guys. If you guys want to feel free to drop in some questions, comments, anything in the chat, please feel free to do some. I get your reasoning. He beat Kevin Owens for the championship in the worst way. Literally. You could still have Goldberg versus Lesnar at WrestleMania 33, but what should have been the Universal title should have been Jericho versus Owens. Should have been Jericho versus Owens. They were one of the best stories in WWE at that time, and they took away the World Championship. For what? And yeah, and they had it for the US title, but it wasn't the same. I can't wait. This weekend's All In and more. It's a busy week, Tyler. Feel free to check out my All In predictions video that I uploaded earlier this week and let me know what you think and also who you think walks out of AEW as the world champion. On today's live stream, we talked about Great American Bash, Saturday night's main event, and Evolution. If you missed my predictions, make sure you go back and check the live stream from its entirety. You'll get every single prediction for the matches that are currently scheduled, as well as the new additions to my wrestling DVD collection. I don't play COD. I don't play COD, Dion. I'm not a big gamer. That's you gotta talk to Sanfran about that. The only games that I have played are like Madden, NBA or WWE 2K, or like Mortal Kombat. Like I'm not a big gamer. I wish I could say I was, but I'm not. That Hangman Page and Swerve great promo tonight. I haven't seen Collision yet, so I'll be checking out. I gotta watch Collision and Impact later, so I'll make sure to catch those before maybe tonight and tomorrow. But I'll probably be watching Collision before I go to bed tonight, and then I'll catch Impact probably tomorrow. What comes to your mind when you hear the Cruiserweight Championship? I'll go first. Cedric Alexander. Oh man, I gotta go old school. I think of Rey Mysterio because he had the great matches with Eddie Guerrero and Juventud Guerrera, Psychosis, and WCW. But just for the WWE run as well, he held that championship in 2003, a little bit of 04. I think of Rey Mysterio with the Cruiserweight title. Maybe another matchups that could have happened but never did, like Austin versus Hogan and Taker versus Sting. Yeah, I did some what ifs, and those have been doing really well. And so I feel like another set of what ifs would do just as well, maybe even better. Um, but yeah, Taker and Sting, Austin and Hogan, and those almost did. What I like about your comment there, Salvi, is these are matches that never happened, but they almost did. So I would love to do a video where it's like matches that almost happened, and maybe talk about why they didn't happen. So another great idea. Your thumbnails are getting better, bro. Dope. I appreciate that, Dion. I didn't really put much effort into the thumbnails early on, and now I'm starting to see the benefits of better thumbnails. And again, it's still a learning process and how we can make this just more of an attractive product. And I appreciate you guys bearing with me in the journey and the growth of this channel. So I'm glad to see that you're enjoying them. Tyler says, I'm calling it now. Swerve, will help out with Hangman after that promo. Yeah. Have a great night. Have a great night, Will. Appreciate you, buddy. I think we're going to get an end game finish. I think Hangman versus John Moxley in the Texas Death Match. We're going to see interference from the Young Bucks, from the Death Riders, from Okada, from all the baby faces, whether it's the Ops, Swerve, Will Ospreay. We're going to see endgame. Everyone's going to come out and interfere. I totally agree with you. Tyler says, hey guys, I'm working on my new Discord server for pro wrestling now. That's awesome, man. Keep at it. Good luck with that too, man. That's great. Keep us updated. When I hear Cruiserweight title, I think Tajiri and Kidman and Ray. Oh, great choices. Great choices, Dion. Billy Kidman had a sick theme song too. Tajiri's a good one. Shout out to Tajiri. You don't talk about Tajiri a lot. I want to thank you guys here for joining us. We're going to begin wrapping up here on the live stream. I want to thank you guys for joining us on this episode of the J Area Wrestling Show. We talked about the predictions of WWE Evolution, WWE Saturday Night's main event, along with NXT Great American Bash. If you missed any of the predictions for any of these shows, make sure you go back and watch the live stream in its entirety to see my analysis, my predictions, and quite frankly, my opinions on Bill Goldberg and why he should not win the World Championship. If you see Saturday night's main event, if you watch the event and you see Gunther lose the title to Goldberg, I hope you think of me, because I would be very disappointed if he wins that matchup. But that is a problem for another day. If you guys haven't seen the All-In prediction video where I share my thoughts on the All-In card, make sure you do so then. I will also be sharing the video where I did AEW versus WWE and my own little booking of a show there, because I would very much love to have your guys' feedback on that video. But of course, I want to thank you guys for joining us here. I do want to see Salvi says so crazy of these days to see a main event in any company without interference is not wrong. Not wrong. But again, I want to thank you guys for joining me on today's live stream. Of course, my name is Jose Ramos Jr. If you enjoyed this live stream, make sure you give the video a like, comment down below some of your predictions, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Join the club, join the family, join the J area, become a member today, and that way you can have your say in professional wrestling, as well as your opinions and your thoughts always matter here with us on a J Area Wrestling Show live stream. Sanford 5 says, if Bill Goldberg wins, get your chest ready for the chops. Good call. I didn't know if you remembered. If Goldberg's matchup, not even if he wins, straight up, not even if he wins, if Goldberg's matchup with Gunther goes over 7 minutes, San Fran, you can give me as many chops as we decide. We'll put a number up on the poll maybe. What topic are you interested in talking about? Anything at this point. I do think booking my own wrestling event and the what if matches that never happened, I'm putting those down. Those are great. Those are great. But again, for me, I could talk about anything any day, every day. I want to hear from you guys. Drop them in the comments. I see the comments in the videos. I might not get to every single one of them, but I do get to see a lot of them. So it's like, drop in the comments if there's anything you guys want me to talk about specifically, especially with these live streams. Man, I'm very receptive, and I want to be able to give you guys what you want and what you're looking forward to. So if you're ever interested in a topic, drop them in the comments, and I'll make sure to make note of them, and we can revisit them for another live stream or for another video topic. But until then, of course, my name's been Jose Ramos Jr. Thank you for joining me on today's live stream. We will see you guys Saturday or Sunday. I'll make sure to drop a post on when I go live next, because I do want to follow up after all these wrestling events. We still have Collision, we still have we still have SmackDown, Great American Bash, Evolution, the Saturday Night's Main Event, all in. There's so much going on, so we'll make sure to come back and talk about it. I want to read these last comments here before I sign off. Gunther should be drawn as unstoppable. He has been champion for more than half of his tenure. He should be running the company, not... Yes, exactly. You get it. This is why I don't want Goldberg to win. I remember when Roman versus Cody at WrestleMania, what happened to that Hangman Page versus John this week. Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen, Tyler. It's going to be Endgame. It's going to be AEW's Endgame, and I'm looking forward to it. I loved Endgame, and I love seeing these interferences, especially when it's given a big spectacle of a matchup. Hangman wins. Hangman has to win. Has to win. Just like how Gunther needs to win. I will see you guys this upcoming weekend for another edition of the J-Ray Wrestling Show. All love. Can't thank you guys enough for the constant support and the constant love that you've shown this stream. Pretty soon, guys, this 4 is going to become a 5. And again, that's in large part thanks to you guys. Hope you guys enjoy your night. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. And can't wait to see you for the next edition of the J Area Wrestling Show. Everyone be safe. Everyone take care. And we'll see you then.